So how did PennyArcade get started?
We actually entered a contest that Next Generation magazine was running. They were looking for a cartoon about games, and we entered. And didn't win, but had so much fun making them that we just kept doing it.
So just like randomly?
Yeah, I mean, we were making our own comics and stuff on the side anyway, and that contest was just sort of the kick in the butt we needed to really give it a shot.
Before that, we did the kind of comics we did are probably more fit for this sort of, you know, traditional Comic-Con type audience. Like, it was superheroes and, you know, feats of acrobatics and dangerous combat, and, you know, like, it hadn't occurred to us to make comics about video games, just because it wasn't really done yet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It hadn't occurred to us to do it until this contest.
So there was stuff before PennyArcade.
Oh yeah, lots.
But it was bad stuff.
But it was all what you might think of as traditional, like, you know, capes and tights type stuff.
So like, how did you guys meet making comics?
More or less.
Well, yeah, we met in journalism class in high school. I was the cartoonist for the high school paper, and he was a writer. So yeah, it makes sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, we met, and then I think you gave me the impression that you wanted somebody to write with.
Yeah. I was looking for someone to help me out with some stories. So
cool. So your alter egos, are they representative of yourselves, or are they exaggerations of yourselves?
I would say they're profound exaggerations of ourselves, but I mean, most of the things that happen in the strip have a true origin. It's just that, you know, our regular lives aren't going to be fascinating for most people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we try to put some kind of spin on it, or sometimes we think it'd be funnier if something that happened to me happened to him, or something like that.
So something I've always wondered was that Tycho has a last name, Brahe, because, you know, the historical illusion. But Gabe doesn't have a last name that I know of.
Well, Gabe is short for Gabriel, which is the character's last name. It's actually John Gabriel.
Ah, John Gabriel.
I think we've only mentioned that like once or twice in the 10 years.
I mean, that's deep, like, super trivia type thing. And the only reason it's like that is because, I mean, those were our handles from Quake. And so he had Gabriel, and Tycho Brahe was my full handle back in those days.
I saw you sign off after every, like, blog post.
Exactly.
CW.
CW is Clan Walrus, which is our old Quake clan.
Old school history.
Exactly.
Okay, so how is it that two people whose, like, defining, like, achievement is making a comic that pokes fun at comics and games, how is it that you decided we're going to make a game?
Again, I mean, somebody else came to us with that idea too. When Hothead first started, they were all veteran developers, and they approached us about trying to make a PennyArcade game. I mean, that wasn't our idea either. It honestly hadn't occurred to us. So
you just decided, like, we'll go with it.
Well, yeah. I mean, we knew some of those guys. You know, we'd known some of those guys for a while, and we felt like they could do a pretty good job.
Their previous games had all been, for the most part, had been adaptions of comic books and cartoons. So,
like Simpsons Hit and Run, like a lot of those guys worked on that, and they turned out pretty well. So we felt like we could do something together.
Okay, awesome. So
basically, what I'm saying is that we never have any of our own ideas.
So you've got your own game, your own webcomic, and you've got some books printed too.
Yeah.
So you've got kind of like a smorgasbord of all the different industries, kind of.
Yeah, more or less. I guess that's right.
Yeah.
So, any like things that you've noticed, differences between all of them? Like anything characteristic of the video game?
Making a game takes a lot more work than anything else we do.
Yeah, even a game that's on the on the short side, like a 6-hour game, is still an incredible amount of work.
Yeah. So
like much more than I thought.
So your webcomic has brought a games expo, and a charity.
True.
How much did Child's Play raise this year?
This year was just over 1.4 million, so it wasn't a bad year.
That's a lot of money. Anyway, do you ever wonder, like, what could possibly be next? Like, when will you ever stop making the next biggest thing?
I mean, if you look at our past, eventually someone else will come to us with a good idea, and we'll do that and take credit for it.
No, I mean, we never really think ahead that far, you know? Like, PAX really happened, like, out of nowhere. We just thought one day, hey, maybe we should try to have our own convention.
Well,
like
sure.
The stuff just, like, sort of springs out of nowhere.
Well, and sometimes it's just like a need or like a perceived need. Like, I mean, with Child's Play, it seemed like something that needed to be real, and someone hadn't done it yet. And with PAX, we'd been to a ton of shows, and they all had a sort of gaming ghetto where video games would sort of, you know, crawl away.
You have to decide.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. We were like, no, actually, this is why I would go to a convention, and there's value there. You know.
So, where do you go to get ideas for your comics? Kotaku or?
The comics really spring out of our conversations. You know, we read a lot of game news, play a lot of games. We start talking, and eventually one of us will laugh.
Yeah, I mean, a new demo comes out, we usually grab that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's been sort of a bummer because we came down here on the 5th, so I haven't had a chance to check out the Killzone or Halo Wars demos. Like, that's usually where we'd be going for content.
So, if you had to pick between making a game, a book, a comic, or a web comic, like a print comic versus like virtual, what would you pick?
The webcomic, definitely, I think. I mean,
oh, yeah. There's no question. Anybody can do it. It's relatively inexpensive to get it off the ground.
Yeah.
I mean,
the reach is, you know,
it's global.
Yeah.
You know.
So do you guys feel like that's going to have a huge effect on the print comic medium? There's like a give and take?
Yeah, I mean...
It already has. I mean, DC's trying to attract web artists with their Zuna initiative, but if you walk around the floor here, you're going to see a bunch of people that make a full-time living off of their webcomics.
So do you guys think that we'll see more like marriages, quote unquote, in between like comics and games and movies? Like,
well, that's been happening forever.
It's like just more and more.
As a kid, I was playing, Terminator 2 by Ocean. It was like some European game. Like those have been happening forever. Aladdin on the Genesis. Like it goes back, man. I mean, that's been happening for a while.
Yeah.
It's not always great. Yeah. But it happens.
So it's been great talking to you.
Oh, pleasure. Thanks, man.
Thank you very, very much.